thing on my foot.
Nice.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode, what episode is it?
I have no idea, I've never seen any
You're
of
the
them.
one who usually knows.
I've never seen any of them.
Wait a minute! What happened to your face, Brady? Just kidding. Brady's out of town, so he's like jerking off in some other place, so we got Al
Alex.
here.
Hi, Alex.
Yeah, you move over a bit, I need some more space.
Any more space?
I'm on the edge of the bed!
Okay.
I gotta get... Welcome to episode, I think it's 11. It's either 11 or 12.
Yeah.
But I don't remember because I probably should keep, but I never do. That's practically like a running gag at this point on the podcast, is that neither of us ever know how, what episode it is. But,
Okay.
you know. Yeah, welcome to episode whatever of the Nitrocast podcast. I'm your host, James, and this is, introduce yourself.
I'm Alex. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
just kidding, I'm not Alex.
I'm not Alex at all. No, I'm Alex. I'm on all the Granicore things. A lot of them.
You've helped out with Granicore for a number of years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been in a lot of them. Most of the funniest Granicore videos have all been your ideas.
Yeah.
A lot of them are based on, like, dreams you've had.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're all screwed up in the noggin.
Wow! You've been on some... You've been in one Nitrocast episode.
I think I was in 2 or 3, but you don't see my face. I'm in a mask.
Oh, yeah, the,
Silent Hill, I think.
The Silent Hill...
Yeah.
That I did 1 year, like, from, not the first, like, 1 through 4, but, like, the 4 that were, like, after that, so, like, Downpour, Homecoming, Shattered Memories, and Origins, those ones. It was you and Brady doing, like, the intros. The year after, I had, Robbie and Brady doing the intros for the Siren videos. But yeah, and you're also in the Dragon Ball video that I did forever ago. There's, like, a bit where I'm like, yeah, who just has a gun? You're like, hey, how's it going? You have a AK-47, because I'm making fun of how Bulma just has a gun.
Oh, yeah.
And
I thought you were talking about the time where I was in the video for, like, a couple seconds, like, not even, maybe just 1 second, where I was like, you can't fucking do that!
Oh, yeah, there's that as well. What was that?
I don't know what the video was.
It's, it's this, you're from one of the old, detective videos. You're like, no, fuck, no,
yeah, Right, but you put that in a Nitroad video.
Yeah.
Clip.
Yeah.
Well, we redid it, but I just don't know what Nitroad video it was.
I don't know either. I don't remember at all. I think it was one of the Rayman videos.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was a Yume Nikki video. It was an older one.
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, probably sometime this year, earlier, probably like February, I got a comment asking what that clip was from.
Yeah.
And that was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So that was the most recent time I would have looked at it, but yeah. So, that's your relation to me. You want to talk about how we met?
Sure,
May as well,
buddy.
because Brady and I talked about how we met in the first episode of the podcast.
Well, we were in, what was it, Tech Ed?
Decade. You were a grade ahead of me, so
Yeah,
I'm
I was
a
a
grade
grade
10. You're
But it was a
11th
mixed
grade.
class anyway, right?
Yeah, it was. I think it was the 11th grade class, but a lot of 10th grade people took it.
Yeah, okay. And it was the easiest fucking class ever, but...
It was just a typing class.
Yeah, any tech course is easy.
I would finish it in 10 minutes
Yeah,
and spend
exactly.
the rest of class playing Mega Man.
Yeah,
on
exactly. So
emulator.
I'd see you playing games that I liked, or I'd see you have backgrounds of shit I liked.
I'd like a Mega Man background on my
And
wallpaper.
and I was super fucking awkward back then. I mean, I still am, but whatever. And
Yeah.
so I would just walk up to you and be like, "Hey kid, nice background," or whatever.
I think you told me to kill Blade Man first, because his weapon
Yeah,
was
because
good.
Blade Man's just a good weapon in
Yeah.
general, and then you kill Ball Guy with it. Ball Guy,
Ball guy.
whatever the baseball dude is.
Oh, Strike Man.
Strike Man.
Yeah. I replayed that game recently, actually, when I was going to New Jersey with Brady. Brady and I were going to talk about our New Jersey trip, but we'll have to do that next podcast, because he had to frick off to New Brunswick, go to a different convention with his circle.
Yeah,
and
his
his significant other, and, that's a thing they do every year. So, that's, understandable. He's got to do that.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty done with, like, local conventions, though, because, like, going to the States and seeing what, like, a convention not in the bum-ass Maritimes is like, because I've gone to HalCon, I've gone to Anime Maritime, like, every year they've had it, but Anime Next was, like, and that's, like, just a smaller convention in the States, and it was so much bigger and better than anything we've got here.
Yeah.
And it was really cool being recognized a lot. I was recognized in public for, like, the first time ever when we went down there, because, like, no one knows who I am here. Like, if you look at my analytics, like, 60% of people who watch me are from the States, and only, like, 5% from Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where... And it was funny, because I had a lot of people come up to me, be really nervous. They're like, yeah, I hope I'm not bothering you. And I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, this feels amazing, getting recognized in public. Like, absolutely. Like, one guy's super nervous, asked for a picture, and I held him in my arms, like Shaggy and Scooby-Doo, and got out of the picture like that. He was, like, pumped. But, yeah, it was Crazy cool.
Yeah, I've never been outside of Canada.
Really?
Ever. I've gone to BC. I've gone to...
So you've gone to the other side of the country.
I've gone to Quebec. I've gone to Ontario and New Brunswick, and that's it.
I've only... within Canada, I've only gone... The furthest I've gone is Newfoundland. Furthest I've gone this way is New Brunswick. I've gone to everywhere in the Maritimes and in Newfoundland, but yeah, the only times I've left the country twice, both to the States. And I've never gone anywhere like cool, like Italy or Rome, which I'd love to see Italy and Rome someday. But when I was right after I graduated high school, it was my last year of Scouts, and well, Ventures at that point, whatever it was called, but we just called it Scouts. Yeah, it was the last year. Those scout leaders were all doing it because it was like, yeah, our kids are like, because you know Daniel, he's got a little brother, and he was just doing it till like his little brother was old enough, and then we're done. Like we were all technically too old, but they just let us come along for the camps anyway. So yeah, that was the last year Scouts. They're all gonna retire because their kids were like last year before they're too old. We we still have this big budget left, and we may as well use the rest of it on like a big trip. So we went to New Hampshire and we went up the White Mountains.
Yeah.
And that was a crazy experience. Like New Hampshire is such a foresty state. And you get to the top of that mountain, and literally 360 degrees, as far as the eye can see, there's no civilization, just trees. Like, and it was amazing being up there.
Yeah.
I wish I had the camera I had now so I could get some proper pictures. But yeah, it was a 12-hour hike up and back down. The whole day.
Like, that's an easy place to get fucking lost. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, there was like more than 20 of us all together, right?
Yeah.
And there's a path to follow. But speaking of getting lost, on the way back down, I was kind of staying behind with Daniel because he had like a hurt leg or something, so he was going like a little slower paced. And we ended up getting lost coming down the mountain because we were following what we thought was the trail, and it was starting to get dark, and there was no sign of it ending anytime soon. And Daniel was freaking out. He was yelling. And then his little brother and his friend came jogging back, and they found us. Like, oh yeah, you're right by the end. We just heard Daniel yelling and being a crazy person. Yeah. And then the second time I went to the States was when I went to New Jersey to visit friends. I got some people being like, I thought you lived in Canada. Like, what are you doing in New Jersey of all places? I'm like, apparently New Jersey is, like, I don't know much about the States, but apparently New Jersey is such a who cares state. Yeah. Like, everyone that's met me there was telling me, like, why New Jersey? But it's because I got friends there. It's where Jackson lives. So I went to visit him. Yeah, that was a fun trip. Gambled for the first time ever. You know, I told you about this, but I'll say this on the podcast. There's a casino in the hotel we were at, and I've never gambled before. Even though I'm 24 now, there's a lot of things I never really like. I'm 19, I can finally gamble, and I never cared.
Don't need to.
The only thing I turned of age to do that I cared about was seeing like R-rated movies in theaters. It's like, yeah, now I can see Django Unchained in theaters.
The day I didn't even drink at the time, but the day I turned 19, I bought a beer just because I could. I didn't even drink it. I gave it to Mitch. But
just to exercise your new rights.
I can do it now.
I never really drank at all till I was 22. No. And I even still don't drink much. But I mean, like the first time I drank was like 22. Yeah. 19 is like 19.
I mean, I got drunk that night.
Yeah.
But
I remember the day I turned 19. For most people watching probably American, 19 is drinking age in Canada. It's 21 down there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's on the day I turned 19, my dad brought me to a pub just for dinner, and my dad ordered a Coors Light, and she's like, all right, what do you want, Mr. 19? I'm like, yeah, you got Dr. Pepper. And I've never seen such a defeated looking face, such a disappointed face in someone in my whole life.
Wow.
But yeah. I just really like Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, can I have a new son, please?
Yeah. But man, I went to the casino, and I did the rule of gambling. You take $20 or 10. I took $20, and that's all I'm gonna use. So I put the the $20 bill into the roulette table. It's like a digital thing. There's like a physical one there, but then there's a touch screen.
Okay.
And you get your $20 pot, and you can drag money on. So I go, okay, $5 uneven, I won. Okay, $5 uneven, I won. Okay, and I did like $5 uneven, then I lost, and I just kept doing that until my $20 was gone, and I ended up winning $17 back.
Yeah.
And and after I stopped, every single one after that was odd. So I just got really lucky. But yeah, there's $17. That was just dinner that night. Just paid for dinner. Went to Applebee's. That was cool.
So did you go anywhere besides any convention centers, like anywhere that's like?
Oh, we went to New York.
Yeah. Okay. So
New
where
York City.
Did you go see anything that
Went-
you're supposed to touristy thing? You know?
We saw the Statue of Liberty.
Okay.
Obviously, we didn't go to Liberty Island or
No.
whatever it's called. I just wanted to see it. So there's a ferry you can take. Someone at the convention who was it was like an indie developer. She was showing me her game and she tipped me off that there's a ferry that goes somewhere, but it goes right by the statue and you can get a good view.
Okay.
Did you see the pictures I put on
I
Facebook?
did. Yeah.
Yeah, I did the stupid when you're like leaning on it, the white Tinder girl thing, they're leaning on the Tower of Pisa. So I did that to the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
In parody of that. But yeah, that was a fun time getting to see Statue. It's such like an iconic thing you see in everything. It is like one of the most iconic structures, and seeing it in person finally is just really cool.
How long is the flight?
Oh, there was 3 flights.
Ugh.
Because I had to go to Toronto, because most international flights
There's no
are
direct
from Toronto.
flight. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's funny because like Nova Scotia's here and New Jersey's here. You can't go here. You gotta go.
Yeah.
So I went from Nova Scotia to Toronto. That was the longest flight. It was probably like an hour and a half.
Okay.
And then from Toronto to Detroit was like 50 minutes, and then from Detroit to New Jersey, it was actually Philadelphia. That airport was just closer to them.
Did you get a cheesesteak?
No.
What the fuck?
We weren't in Philadelphia. We got picked up in Philadelphia and went to New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't spend any time in Philly.
Okay.
We were in Jersey. We're in Jersey.
You ever watch It's Always Sunny in Philly, by the way?
No, Jackson likes that show.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I hear good things about it. My old manager, when I used to work at Shoppers, he used to love that show. Yeah. I've watched it before because I was like at Alejandra's house and it's just on because he's watching it when I'm like doing stuff back in the college days. And it's funny. I've just never sat down and watched it, you know.
Yeah.
That's just me with like most shows. I never watch anything.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of watching stuff, Better Call Saul season 4 is finally coming out next month.
Haven't seen a single episode.
Did you watch Breaking Bad?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
Kinda. It wasn't. Yeah.
I'm thinking most of my friends like Breaking Bad. I know Robbie likes Better Call Saul. I'll talk to him about it with it. But yeah, Better Call Saul is awesome. I like it even more than Breaking Bad. That's cool. That's finally coming back.
That guy's actually a really good comedian, like comic actor as well.
He's
his name?
Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah.
He's in like every episode of Tim and Eric.
Yeah, and
he's hilarious.
There's this show called Comedy Bang Bang, which is okay, but it's got like Reggie Watts and like just smaller comedians, but like he's on it a couple times and he's really funny every time. So
There's a series he does with someone else.
Oh, David Cross. That's actually bad though.
It's Mr. Show or something.
Or no, yeah. I don't know. There's a show with him and David Cross, and they do like sketch comedy, but it was really bad.
Okay,
I didn't like it at all.
That might be the one I'm thinking of. I didn't.
Yeah.
I never watched it. I just heard of it.
Yeah.
You know, looking on his Wikipedia page. I'm like, oh, that's a thing he did. He started like Saturday Night Live, I think. He actually shared an office with Conan O'Brien back in the Simpsons writing days.
Okay, well, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So that was cool.
Do you watch? Did you have topics you wanted to talk about? Or I'm just kind of.
Well, usually I'd start by talking about like the Nitrocast episode, but we just kind of started going.
Yeah, we did.
I guess I'll talk about. What were you gonna say first?
Do you watch Hot Ones?
Hot one. Sometimes, yeah. I've watched. It's not like something I'm subscribed to, but if I see someone I care about on there, like Hannibal Buress or like any actors or whatever, I'll like, I put that on, and it's just a nice hour-long podcast. Yeah, that's a really good series.
Yeah, no, it's really funny. Tom Segura is going to be on it. He said that they already recorded it. You know who Tom Segura is?
No.
Okay, so he's a stand-up comedian. He's actually pretty funny. He's in that circle of people with like Joe Rogan, Joey Diaz, Bert Kreischer, like all those guys.
Yeah.
They all have podcasts, and
Yeah.
I watch Tom's podcast and Joe's and Joey's. But anyway, yeah, no, I don't know. He's really funny, so I'm looking forward to that episode. That's why I brought it up.
Right on. Cool. So, yeah, I just wanted to let you finish that thought. So, yeah, now we'll go on to, like, Nitrocast episodes I filmed this month, which, it was kind of a slower month than normal because of my 2-week trip. And, but I got an episode out beforehand, which was the Pac-Man Adventures in Time video. Because a lot of people were recommending me that game, saying it was just like Miss Pac-Man Maze Madness. It is nothing like that game.
It looked really boring, honestly.
It's just a Pac-Man maze game.
Yeah.
It was fun. So you watched the video?
I did.
That's all. I always get like surprised when friends tell me they watch my videos. I don't expect anyone to watch my videos.
I haven't seen every one of your videos, but I've seen most of them.
Okay. Dang, I had no idea. Honestly,
Yeah, okay.
Didn't realize. But yeah, that was like an okay game. It was fine. I mean, I like Pac-Man, so I liked it. It's just yeah, I think it's just like as far as like standard Pac-Man games go, it's probably there's like a lot of fun things about it. I enjoyed that. But then Jersey Devil was like the platformer game.
Yeah, I saw that
I
too.
did. But yeah, this back to Miss Pac-Man. Like Miss Pac-Man's like an adventure game. There's like puzzle solving stuff in it. People were telling me to play Pac-Man Adventures in Time. I'd love it because it's just like Miss Pac-Man. I said in the video, like, it's nothing like this game. Just because it's like a maze game with 3D graphics. Like, I don't know. Yeah, Jersey Devil. That was a very interesting game. I think that was a really good topic for an episode because it's not necessarily a very good game.
No.
It's very clunky and buggy, but like it's fine. Like it's functional. Like playing it for the most part.
And like you said, like everyone's probably played it on a demo disc at some point.
Yeah.
I did.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Really?
I was like, yeah.
It's funny because a lot of people were telling me they played it on a demo disc. I think Lucas told me he played on demo disc. I tweeted it. A lot of people were saying they played on demo disc, so that's why I had that line.
I remember the demo being like good though. Like maybe
Really?
it may be like
I mean, if you're a kid,
yeah,
that's the thing. Like if I played Jersey Devil as a kid, I would love it.
Yeah.
That's the thing with like any person who played any game as a kid, they'll like it. That's why every video I put out, no matter how mediocre the game is,
Somebody's favorite game.
it's someone's favorite game, and they always want an HD remaster. Like there's people who want an HD remaster of Kaya Dark Lineage.
I wouldn't mind an HD remaster of fucking
Legacy of Kain games?
of Kain, yeah.
I've still never played those games. I really should though.
Gameplay 5 out of 10. Story 10 out of 10.
Show the audience your tattoo.
It's kind of hard to. It's supposed to be like this. Like that's upside down technically. You're supposed to see it like that. It's just the symbol. It's the symbol from the main villain, I guess, or he becomes a protagonist in the third one. But anyway, Kain, just a really old vampire, and he did a lot of
Is it
really.
the blue guy?
No, that's Raziel. So Raziel. Raziel was a priest, and Kain turned him into a vampire, but he didn't know that. And there's this big. Anyway, one of the main reasons I like the game is because the guy that voiced Megabyte in Reboot.
Oh yeah.
He does the voice of like some eldritch being in that game, and his voice acting in any game and everything his voice acting is so fucking good.
He is such like a deep, like grizzled.
I wish he wasn't dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing is,
didn't he voice Megatron at one point?
Maybe, but the thing about that game that I love the most is just the story itself. Like the voice acting is all incredible. It's so well written, and it was one of the main reasons that I actually learned how to like English really is because. Yeah. It's like, what are all these huge words they're using, and like how like it's all like kind of old language, but still not kind
of like Shakespearean-ish.
Not really. It's weird.
Like that era though.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
It's just they all talk like it's like they're all using thesauruses to speak.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a really so I recommend playing it.
There's 4 of them, right?
There's Blood Omen on the PS1, which is a Legacy of Kain game. Then Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver and Soul Reaver 2.
Those are the ones with Ezreal.
Raziel is who you play as, and then in Defiance you get to play as Kain. So you play as Kain in the first one and in the last one.
Okay.
But the last one you play as both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like Devil May Cry 4 kind of deal.
Kind of like you start as Raziel, then you play as Kain, and then you're Raziel again. I think that's how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's been a long time.
But yeah, that's I know the first one. No, the first Soul Reaver game is on Dreamcast. It has a Dreamcast port.
Okay.
So I would probably play that version. I remember I did a video forever ago called like "What's for Dinner" or whatever. It's just me eating like this disgusting looking like porridge thing, and I'm just like, oh, and you hear like these cries and whispers and stuff, and you thought I took it from that game, but I actually took it from Eternal Darkness.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because it was the Silicon Knights worked on both of those games, so they reused that same sound library.
Yeah, I was like,
between 2 games.
This is this sound for sure.
And I was like, no, it's from Eternal Darkness. And then you showed it to me. I'm like, oh, well, that is like the same thing.
Yeah.
I was so surprised. But yeah, that was years ago. It was still in high school. But yeah, Jersey Devil.
Yeah, well,
that was yeah. I think it was really interesting how that was very like inspired by like not classic Warner, but specifically 90s Warner.
Yeah.
Felt very much like that, like Animaniacs.
Yeah, I never watched Freakazoid, but I did watch Animaniacs.
I never watched Freakazoid either, but my friend Andrew's been watching it. He tells me it holds up really well.
Okay.
I mean, like, Animaniacs, I think, holds up well. It's the exact same people.
And
so.
Tiny Toons.
Tiny Toons, yeah.
Tiny Toon Adventures, I guess, is what it's called, isn't it?
I never called it that.
Yeah,
I don't know anyone calls
did.
it the full title. Yeah. And then, what was the other one they did? Oh, Pinky and the Brain, but that's just spin off of Animaniacs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are good shows. You follow Rob Paulson at all?
Not sure who it is.
He's the guy that voices Yakko, also voices Carl Weezer.
Oh, yeah, we see. Okay.
Yeah, I mentioned this earlier. He does I don't know if it's like a podcast, but he does like a thing where like he gets other voice actors on, and then they'll like reread scripts of like serious and dark movies in their cartoon voices. Like he had the voice actor Mr. Krabs on recently. It's a really good show. Recommend that. I don't know what it's called.
Cartoons. You remember when Hanna-Barbera was killing it? Like Johnny Bravo, Dexter's
Yeah.
Lab? Those were...
Well, like Cartoon Network.
Yeah, the thing... Cartoon Network. Wasn't it Hanna-Barbera that did those cartoons then?
I don't know. As far as I know, it's Cartoon Network. You could be right. I don't know.
Anyway...
Under that same umbrella.
Yeah, speaking of spin-offs within shows, I always really liked the Avengers ripoff in Dexter's Lab. You remember?
Oh, yeah!
There was the guy, there was like I'm a dude with a guitar guy who was Thor.
Forget what it was called.
The Justice Friends? Something like that?
Something like that,
And then there was like the big, like Gronk or whatever his name was, a Purple Hulk.
Was there like an actual spin-off show of
No,
that?
but they'd always have episodes of that within Dexter's Lab episodes. And there was like the main America, obviously Captain America guy.
Yeah.
And then, had to be a fourth one, right?
I think it was just the three of them.
Maybe.
I'm only remembering those three.
Yeah, me too. But I remember really loving that.
Yeah.
That was like my favorite parts of the episodes is when they would show that, or where Dexter's Lab was good too. But
it could have had its own like episode.
It could have, yeah.
That was a thing. Fairly Odd Parents did. They had one episode that was just an episode of Crash Nebula, and that was actually a pilot episode Bush Hartman made, which got rejected by Nickelodeon. So they just made it into an episode of Fairly Odd Parents instead, which is what that was. So that could have been a similar thing. Could have been a failed pitch that they decided to work into just Dexter's Lab.
Yeah,
do instead.
I don't see why it was failed. It was good enough to be its own show for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of great pilots that just never got picked up, which is a shame. Even if they're from like creators that have found great success on that network before.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of like Nickelodeon pilots that just never, a lot of Cartoon Network ones. That it's like, why was this never a show? Come on.
Did you see it was an Adult Swim show. It only had one episode. Tom Kenny does voices in it. Not Tom Kenny. Is it Tom Kenny? SpongeBob.
SpongeBob,
right?
yeah.
Tom Kenny does voices in it and a bunch of other cool dudes. It was on Adult Swim. It was called, I forget his name, but it was something The Barbarian.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Really good, really funny, really well drawn.
Was it like the live action?
No, it was a cartoon.
Okay, I'm thinking of something else.
No, it was a cartoon. It was one episode, one pilot, really funny. It was like 20 minutes long. And yeah, it's just shit like that. It's like, how did this not get made into a show? Like, it was amazing. The writing was all funny. The drawing was hilarious. Like, there would be faces ripped off.
You see shows like Rick and Morty, and like practically the pilot episode of that was like a bad Back to the Future. Really poorly drawn. Have you watched that?
I didn't watch the pilot. No.
It's not funny. It's like, hey Doc, Marty. It's because it's Doc and Marty.
Marty.
Marty, Marty, you gotta suck my dick.
Yeah, no, he says you gotta lick my balls. I did see that.
It's not
so funny.
It's not funny at all. Yet, okay, there's your show.
There's
are
your
you like really?
Yeah.
Come on.
Thank God that wasn't the show though.
Yeah, I think it must have more to do with like the personality behind it, because Justin Roiland, they probably were more impressed by him as a person than the pilot itself. So there's probably like a lot more business politics to it than what we just see on the surface, Yeah. There's probably like a scope. They probably have to write like a log line and like write everything, like a lot more production. It might be like the paperwork behind it that they're not on board with.
Remember Hellbenders?
Yeah.
Remember? Did you hear about what happened with that? Why it didn't get its own show?
No.
So they Adult Swim told them like, we want you on our network. They're like, fuck yeah, we're finally gonna get into this shit.
I don't know that was gonna happen. I haven't followed those people.
They fucking flew all the way to wherever the fuck Adult Swim headquarters were.
Yeah.
Get all the way there, and Adult Swim didn't give them a show for the reason that we already have 2 other shows about hell, so...
Okay.
No thanks.
That's...
Yeah.
One of them is that stupid Pickles the dog. Have you seen that show?
No.
It's just gore porn. It's not funny at all. It's just gore. It's a satanic dog and he kills people and rips them apart. It's just gross. And it's got that really crude, just grossly drawn art style. And it's like, this isn't funny. It's just... Yuck. You'd have to be like a fucking psychopath to like this show. Like, God, no.
Yeah, I don't watch much Adult Swim, but the ones I do are really good, like Eric Andre show.
Eric Andre, of course. I've watched all of Eric Andre. Have you seen his Paris special?
Paris?
Where he goes to Paris. It's just Eric on the streets for 18 minutes in Paris. It's awesome.
I know I liked Metalocalypse, but it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
And then, fuck, I can't really think of any other ones. Oh, Tim and Eric.
Tim and Eric, of
Yeah.
course. I've watched plenty of Tim and Eric.
Yeah.
Tim and Eric is
Tim and Eric is really hit and miss. But
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But it's just that like that bleeding edge kind of humor where it's just like, yeah, no one has any reason to get any of this.
And they
you
do
know?
like a lot of like weird YouTube poop kind of editing
Yeah,
things. And
exactly.
You're like, what? Do they watch YouTube poops?
The
Is that where that
editing.
came from?
The editing
Yeah.
is what makes those shows, and there's definitely a lot of influence on Granicore from just like the weirdness to it.
Yeah.
Like you get comments being like, "What were you guys on?" Is like weird. We just probably just watched an episode of Tim and Eric. We're like, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah. I mean, we have the pre-Granicore filming ritual of bashing our heads with hammers until we can't see.
Yeah.
Speaking of Granicore,
Oh, yeah.
segue into the next part
Yeah,
of the podcast.
that's a good. Okay. Fuck you. I hate it when people acknowledge the segue because then it is not a good segue.
Yeah, I know,
They're
it's
like,
terrible.
and that was segue. If we just started talking to Granicore and you didn't say the word segue, it would have been a good segue. But
Exactly.
now it's a bad
I had
segue.
to ruin it.
Fuck you.
I know.
Because that would have been a really good segue.
And I know that you hate when I do that, so I had to.
Oh yeah. Okay. I see. Yeah, Granicore. I want to talk about what Brady and I did recently.
Okay.
I don't remember. Okay, what did we do today? Anyway, when we were in New Jersey, we filmed a video with Jackson because we're like, we have to do at least one video with Jackson.
Yeah.
Because Jackson was in that Yokai Watch video. You ever watch that? Alejandra's in that video too.
Yes,
I think Alejandra's the best part of that video. He's hilarious.
I don't remember it, but
Nico's and friends and
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we did one where it's just called I'm bored, and it's we did two videos. It starts the exact same way.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's not much to it. We come in and we shoot them with lasers and
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought Taylor was watching those with me, my girlfriend.
Yeah.
She hated them.
Really?
She thought they were horrible.
Not
I was
funny at
like,
all?
they're not that bad. But,
I thought they were good.
She's kind of a sucker for me being into my guests. Actually, her favorite Granicore video is the one, Let Me Help You With That?
Yeah.
Brady, she loves that video.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's like a fairly par Granicore
I know,
video.
right? But she loves it. Yeah.
I think like around that era of Granicore, like Supplements Arise and Pen Pal are like the higher tier ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I showed...
Pizza Prophecy. That's still my favorite one ever. Pizza Prophecy.
I don't know if I have a favorite. Whenever I show people in my family, I always go with Beelzebub Stop, Pen Pals, and Pizza Prophecy. Like those are the three I show people. And I showed my godfather and my father. We were in his house and drinking, and Dad was like, "Don't you like do videos or whatever?" I was like, "Oh yeah, let's put some on." And then they were fucking dying. Like it was really nice to see people.
That's good.
Even in their age group, they're like 40 and they're laughing their asses off.
Every time I show my dad Granicore videos, he just goes, "Uh-huh."
Yeah.
It's like
No, my dad was literally like knee slapping. laughing.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's easy to appreciate.
Yeah,
'cause, I
and
mean,
my godfather's wife was chuckling real good too. It was nice.
it's definitely not the kind of sense of humor for everyone. It's like
No.
it's like for people our age that grew up on the internet are
Yeah.
gonna find that funny.
Yeah.
Like parents aren't. Yeah, and then today we filmed a video which I haven't edited yet.
No.
But it's actually a follow up to Brady's Revenge, where you wake up in the forest, and you just got some shots of you walking around and.
There's some dialogue. There's not much to it really.
Yeah, not really.
Videos will start getting better once Brady and all of us get back.
Yeah, once
we're all
Brady's back
busy
from New
as fuck.
Brunswick, and then
Yeah, we're all busy.
we'll have to find some weekends in July and
Yeah.
in August. This summer we'll got to get together plenty of
Yeah.
times, get some stuff done.
Yeah.
Get the three of us. What I wanted to do, we'll have to get three of us all together. Is I want to take new photos for the header.
Yeah.
Because those are like
Old.
4 years old,
Yeah.
and we look a little slightly older
Slightly
now.
different,
Slightly
yeah.
different. Yeah. So that would just be nice to update. Just exact same background, just updated portraits, I guess.
Yeah.
Also, I'm wearing the stupid Ava Chew shirt from J-List, and it's just not a good shirt.
I don't mind my
picture.
shirt because I still listen to Porcupine Tree.
Yeah, you're the only person on the planet I've ever heard that likes that band.
Actually, Dylan Delaney is that's Greg Dion.
Greg Dion.
Greg Dion loves Porcupine Tree, and he can actually play some of their
Okay,
songs on
not
it.
that anyone online knows who these people are, but I don't know. Greg Dion played the guitar.
Yeah, he's really good actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I just know he jogs and is smart.
Oh yeah, he jogs like a motherfucker.
Yeah, he's
You try and stop that guy from jogging.
yeah, he's nice. He's doesn't matter if it's like that, that puzzle. What happens when an immovable object hits a unstoppable force. Greg Dion is the.
What?
What was that?
I don't know.
Greg Dion's the unstoppable force. I don't know if my throat made a noise at the same time.
I think someone, yeah.
I thought there was like a screech or something. That
Okay.
spooked me. Oh.
Ooh,
But yeah, the narration's kind of in the same vein as the one Brady and I did, where I'm doing narration. It's like that was based on an episode of Eric Andre when he's like, "Did I boost that woman's morale?
Oh,
Am
yeah.
I even,
Yeah.
What am I doing here?" That's what that was based on. That was a video we just like pulled out our ass. We had no ideas. And we just made it up as we went along.
It's kind of similar to, I mentioned earlier, that show Comedy Bang Bang.
Yeah.
There's an episode where the host, it's basically Eric Andre's show but scripted. So
Okay.
like, whereas Eric Andre's a lot of improvised shit, this is all just like scripted. He's doing like an on the street thing, and he's like hiding in a bush, and he's like, I'm gonna like make fun of people as they walk by.
Yeah.
And like this one guy walks by, and he's pretending to be them. And the first guy's face is blurred out, so he's like, "Oh, my face is blurry. Ooh, look at me." Whatever. And then the next guy like walks out, and he's like, "Oh, today's I got a nice sandwich here. Today's the day I'm gonna wear it as a hat." Like stupid shit like that.
Okay.
This woman walks by. "Oh, I hope nobody knows I'm a man." And then this last guy walks by, and he's like kind of walking like aggressively, and he's like, "Oh, I hope I don't sit in a puddle and get my little butt wet or whatever." And then the guy like hears him, and he's like, "You making fun of me?" And he's like, "No, I'm just," and he's like, look, I'm very on edge today because I don't want to sit in a puddle and get my little butt wet." And then Scott's like, "What?" And then like all these, the guy comes back with a sandwich on his head and shit, like they're
Oh my
he's
god.
like, "Oh my god, I can actually read minds." Yeah, it's
That's
an alright
good.
show.
That's pretty great.
Yeah. Reggie
Yeah.
Watts really makes that show, but I like Reggie Watts.
Cool.
Yeah.
My favorite comedian is me. Ever show you the Bald Eagle show?
No.
There's this, it's like so old, it's from like 2009, but you know Frank Howley, he's on Mega 64 sometimes.
Frank.
He's
No.
in a couple of videos.
I don't know.
He's the guy with the squeaky voice.
I would know him by face, I'm sure. I don't know
Looks-
my name.
Bill, bit younger, but
Okay.
anyway, yeah, he has a channel where he like just uploads random shit. But he also re-uploaded the Bald Eagle show. It's like this like 10-year-old kid. Be like, "I'm the fucking bald fucking eagle, bitch, and we're gonna do some prank calls."
Oh,
and he's
no.
got like this bad like nervous tick, and he calls Disney stores like he can't say K's, so he calls a Disney store asking for Mickey, but he goes, you got Mickey, excuse me, you got Mickey. Do we have what? Mickey. Do we have Mickey, like Mickey Mouse? Yeah. You mean like Mickey Mouse toys? No, I mean person. And it's just the worst prank call, but it's so funny because he just can't speak properly at all, and they can't understand him. It's so good. Yeah, check out, just type in Bald Eagle Show Frank Howley, you'll get it. Yeah, that's some good shit. That's basically what kept Brady and I sane in the airport, because we were there. Oh, I mentioned the flights themselves weren't long, but we had some pretty long waits between flights. There's like 6 hours waits between some of them.
Yeah.
And we were there overnight. Coming back, I didn't sleep in 40 hours coming back. It was terrible. But going there, we were just like stressed out because we've never flown before, trying to figure out like, how do we do this? What do we do? But just Mickey just kept us sane, because that was so fucking funny, because we watched that the day before we left, and we just kept going, "Hey, Mickey," and just like talking like that kid. So Bald Eagle Show got me through a lot, you know. Shout outs.
Did you you said your favorite comedian is you. You're obviously joking, but
Oh yeah.
do you watch stand-up comedy at all?
Not really.
No.
No.
Okay.
Every now and then on YouTube, but I haven't
I
done
love-
that in like years.
I love stand-up comedy.
Oh yeah.
I think honestly, I might actually start
Really?
writing and trying.
I think you'd be good at it, honestly.
I mean, in my experience, everyone thinks I'm funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing is, I find my humor is a lot more. People say something and then I can react funny to it, or
Oh, you're 100% right.
as opposed
Yeah.
to me just making it up. But I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. My brain's pretty twisted, so maybe
Maybe
if I
some Manzai style comedy.
because like a lot of comedians, their whole thing is like, here's the world through my head, so
Yeah.
maybe I could do that and be funny with it. I might try.
You're good at telling stories, like the taxi story from years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
You can
silly.
tell that on the podcast.
You mean the one where I ditched the cab?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
It's a great story.
Okay, well, I was going to, James invited me to go to the movies with him to see, what was it?
I I think we saw Prometheus.
No, I saw that. I made that. I didn't make it this time. I was there with you for Prometheus. Whatever.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, not important.
Might have been like Skyfall.
Yeah, it's not important.
It's something. It was years ago.
So I forgot which turn to because I always walked to your house.
Yeah.
Back then, I forgot which turn it was to get to your house, and I went way past it to the point where I was way the fuck. James lives on off of a road that's like one of the longest roads we have.
Yeah.
So I was all the way down at the fucking bed and breakfast, which is just kilometers and kilometers away from your house, before I realized, I'm not making it tonight. So I walk into the bed. I just knock on the door. It's nighttime, so they shouldn't be open. It's a bed and breakfast. Yeah. Anyway, someone actually answers the door and they're like, hello. It's like this old woman. And I'm like, hey, can you call me a cab? And she's like, okay, come on in. And I'm like, okay. And I'm just standing there. And she had a really cute daughter who was trying to talk to me, but I was like all awkward back then. And she's like, I just want a cab. Like, I'm just trying to get the hell out of there.
Yeah. And
then I get in the cab. I get in the front seat, which I never do, by the way, so I don't know why I did this time. Bad choice. I get in the front.
I don't know if that was a thing you do in cabs.
I know.
Get
I know, right?
Weird.
I get in the front seat, and we're just chatting away. We're having a good rapport.
Yeah.
And about 5 minutes before we get to my house, I realize I don't have my wallet, so I can't pay the guy. And of course, I could have just made him go to my house and just gone in and got my wallet and came out and paid him.
But you're so nervous, you're not thinking about that at all.
I was just like, oh no! Because, yeah, I wasn't thinking correctly, I guess. So I get him to drive to this bank near my house, so he doesn't know where I live. Because I didn't tell him quite where I live. I was just like, yeah, we're going by this place. Which is good, because I wasn't going to pay him. It's like I knew. And then we get to the bank, and I go, yeah, there's an ATM here. I'm just going to take cash out and give it to you. And I don't know why he thought that was a thing people do, because why wouldn't I just pay him with debit, right?
Yeah.
But he's like, okay. And he stops, and I walk towards the bank. I look back at him. He's not looking, and I just fucking... And then... So, I knew as long as I got to... There were some stairs up a grassy hill, and there's no way a car can get up there. I knew as soon as I got there, I was safe. I get to the top of the stairs, and he's literally like... I hear him right up behind me, and I hear him yell something out the window, so I'm like, you little fucker! Something like that. So I just kept running, because I thought, like, oh god, what if he comes around the side street all the way up? Which he didn't do. And so I ran across an overpass, just a pedestrian overpass, not a car one. And then I'm by my lake, and I run to my lake, and I'm not a long-distance sprinter by any means, and I was very badly out of shape. I still kind of am.
But like adrenaline will push you that far.
I sprinted all the way to the lake, which was probably about, let's say, a 10-minute full-on sprint.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. So I literally get to the lake, sit down on a rock, and just puke everywhere. Because my body is just like, what are you doing? I'm puking. I had the worst headache I've ever had in my whole life. And I was just basically, I could not move off that rock. I was just stuck there.
Yeah, that's the worst when you can't breathe. Yeah, God.
And then after I finally was able to move again, my house is right by the lake. And I just walked in. And my cousin who lived with me at the time was like, I thought you were going to the movies. And I was just like, I didn't make it. And yeah, I lied to James at first. I Facebook messaged him. He was like, are you coming, dude? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't feel good. Which I guess was telling the truth, but not the reason. Yeah.
It was too long, didn't read.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah, man. Still a good story. That's so long ago.
Oh, so long ago.
Like 2013,
You still had long hair. Like longer hair.
I did?
Yeah, you did.
Maybe it was in high school then.
I think it was.
Because I think
it was during summer, but we were still like going to school the next semester, maybe.
Well, if you were still going to school, then I would have been going to grade 11.
Yeah, maybe.
So maybe it was like, I would have been grade 10 going on grade 11.
I guess so.
Shit, so I would have had like, and high school me had long hair. Like, looks real bad long hair.
Well, it didn't look that bad.
I thought it looked terrible. I mean, like, I didn't at the time, but looking pictures of me now, I like doing the whole Rain Man thing.
Yeah,
I just get long enough to split of that. Well, the thing is, I think it's mostly that I had long hair and I didn't know what to do with it. I just let it down in front of my face.
I'm just lazy and this happens.
Yours just goes out.
Yeah, but my girlfriend really likes afros.
Yeah.
And facial hair, because she's in love with, like, Jimi Hendrix. But
Oh, I see. Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been able to grow good facial hair. Like, I can't grow a good mustache at all. It's
yeah,
the same color as, like, my lip. It's, like, a lighter color.
My dad's, like, got perfect facial hair, and I hate it, and I don't. Like, it's all patchy and weird looking. Like, ugh. And I don't trim it very well either, but whatever.
He's got to take scissors.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I do. Yeah, it's easy peasy. I'm going to see
We're at
how...
40 minutes.
40, okay. Right on. So 1 hour is usually what we go until, so 20 more minutes to fill. I don't think I talked about the other Nitrad video I was doing. No, I didn't. I'm doing Kingsley's Adventure. Yeah. I finished it. I finished the script and I recorded it yesterday. I haven't started editing it yet. So after you go, I'm probably going to get back on doing that. I'll at least do that tomorrow.
Yeah, you don't got to worry about the Granicore video.
Yeah. No.
I mean, you can edit it, but I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah. We just need more. When we get together.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, Kingsley's like an okay game. It's like very, very much like... It feels like they played Ocarina of Time. They're like, let's do something like this, and they just didn't make a shred of effort to really capture anything that made Ocarina of Time fun. Like, it starts that, like, you start in the castle, the king and queen tell you where to go, they just open a door that just brings you to the next town. It's not like, okay, I explore the world and find the town myself. No, boom, you find the town. Okay.
Is it third person, like, camera always locked onto your back like Link?
Yeah, it's got tank controls too.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, but R2 and L2 strafe, so it's kind of tolerable. I think Mega Man Legends has similar controls.
Hate tank controls.
I don't mind them.
Only game I can play with tank controls is Resident Evil 4.
What about oh, I guess that game has tank controls. I often forget. Have you seen the Resident Evil 2 remake?
No.
It looks just like Resident Evil 4. It looks fucking awesome.
Huh.
Because Resident Evil 2 was the first one with Leon.
Yeah.
It's a full-on remake of that game, just like Resident Evil 4. It looks awesome. But yeah, it's you go to the town. On the back of the game it says exploration, but I make a joke where you can cross that off because there's no exploration in that game.
Yeah.
You get to the town and it's just like a big circle with a couple of buildings. That's it. There's no exploring in that game. To the game's credit, though, the graphics are really nice. It's super colorful. The models are adorable and cute, and the characters are like all these different animal characters, and they're funny. The dialogue's pretty funny. And the situations are just stupid. It's like a dumb little kids game.
Yeah.
The third town is like run by monks that brew root beer for everyone, and someone disguises himself as a monk and goes in and poisons the brewery. So everyone starts getting like, fuck, I'm fucking root beer, messed up. Okay. But then there's also this cult of coffee drinkers that swear by coffee instead of root beer, and they're all like, yeah, get some fucking coffee, and I get a fucking headache, I need more coffee. And King's like, what the fuck is going on? It's funny, but yeah, I just wish they had more of that, and more like quest lines and stuff instead of just the game telling you what to do, doing the dungeons that are just very underwhelming.
Is combat Zelda-like in the sense that you like lock on and stuff?
You don't lock on, you just go up and hit, there's a sword button and a shield button, and I guess the idea is to block with your shield, wait for the attack to bounce off and hit them, but you can just go up and mash the square button and they die. It's easy peasy. Even the bosses are like that. It's such an easy game, but there's some dungeons that are like infuriatingly hard because you have to do really accurate platforming with that control scheme, and it's just, I was hoping to be a lot better because like the cover, it's like, oh, that's a fun looking character, it could be fun, but yeah, it was actually not super great. It was a pretty mediocre game, and I mean, I review mediocre games all the time, but I can usually take something I like from it. Like Jersey Devil is definitely not a good game, but I enjoyed a lot about it. But Kingsley just felt dull, I'd rather a bad game with things I like about it rather than just a straight dull game with nothing interesting about it, So yeah, that's coming to you live from nitrad.com. Sunday. Next week. I'll have that out.
Sunday,
I have no idea. I just said a random day. I'll get that done when it's done.
Yeah, the only thing, I'm looking forward to next weekend just because I know you don't give a shit, but Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier, the World Heavyweight UFC Championship.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be.
I never paid attention.
It's gonna be a great fight.
To UFC.
I watch a lot of boxing and all that stuff. I watch a lot of fights.
Oh yeah, I remember when the Mayweather thing happened. You were talking about that.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't even really watch that fight because I knew Mayweather was gonna win because there's no fuck. We don't have to get into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a
#1 gaming podcast where we talk about boxing.
Yeah. No, but that's just So that's one of the reasons Granicore isn't. We just all have busy schedules. Really, I work all the time. And,
I mean, I don't, but I mean, like everyone else, especially like you and Brady both have full-time jobs, and it's like finding a day when both of you guys are free just happen to be free on the same day. It's like,
Yeah.
it's just difficult.
That's adults for you.
Yeah, but son, I want to be a kid again. I want to go to school and get paid.
The best thing, the absolute best thing about school, it's the thing I miss the most.
Seeing your friends every day.
No.
Oh, really?
It's waking up and deciding I'm not going to school today, and there are no consequences. You can't do that with a job. You can't just be like, I don't feel like going today, and not call in or anything.
I see what you mean. It's like consequences. You might they get a bad grade, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't matter as much as losing a job.
No,
you know?
yeah. Like, no, high school, the vice principal straight up told me, he's like, well, we can't do anything if you don't show up. As long as, like, your grades are good, you can have as many absences as you want. I was like...
Oh, that was Mr. Clark?
Yeah,
he was
as
awesome.
Fuck. Yeah.
He expelled a kid that, like, threatened to beat me up.
Yeah,
because apparently I was the straw on the camel's back. Like, he was like, it was the second semester near the end, and he like said like, where do you go out? And he straight up said I was gonna beat the shit out of me, and I've never been in a fight, and I've never had someone beat me up before, and I was like terrified. And Mr. Clark was like, Mr. Clark, it was his last year, so he wouldn't care. He would like straight up like swear.
Yeah, he swore all the time.
Yeah, and he looked at who's it? Oh, this fucking idiot. Okay, yeah, he's fucking gone. And like, he's like, what? He's like, no, he's expelled. This kid's been giving me shit all year.
You remember Lynn Dalland?
What do we call Lynn Dalland? Yeah, we edited the Wikipedia page.
And I called her cunt bot 9000, and that caught on a bit too. But
she was a terrible.
She was a terrible person. She substituted for our drama class one
I should probably censor the name. We shouldn't name drop people.
Yeah, you're right. She substituted for our drama class one time.
Yeah.
And she was just doing a terrible job, and she didn't know what the hell she was doing. Anyway, me and Nathan were sitting next to each other. Everyone else was just kind of chatting away. She was just being one of those bad teachers, like, if everyone could just quiet, if we could just, I'm just gonna stand here till everyone, not doing anything about it. And she was the principal, so she should have just been like, hey, I'm the,
Should have been authoritarian.
Yeah.
At least somewhat.
So anyway, Nathan, I noticed, has a piece of fuzz on his shirt. And I was just like, oh man, you got a piece of fuzz on your shirt. And I just pull it off, and she went, you know what? See me after class. To me, I wasn't doing anything. I was like, okay. And then she brought me into the principal's office, and she was like, well, her office. And and she was like, your behavior was just unacceptable in class. I never talked. That was the only time I talked. And she's like, well, I don't think so. Blah, 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 blah. And she's like, I think we might have to give you, like, some sort of in-school, like, suspension or detention or something. And I'm like, all right, great. That's not going to happen. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, that's not going to happen. And I'm going to, my mom will be calling you. And she was like, sure, whatever. So I go home. My mom calls her. She's like, yeah, no. Basically, that was basically the conversation.
Yeah.
I go in on Monday, because this was a Friday. I go in on Monday, and Mr. Clark, the cool guy, he walks up to me. I was heading towards the principal's office. He was like, don't go in there. I was like, why? He's like, because you didn't do anything wrong. Like, don't worry about it. I was like, yeah, he was a cool dude.
Yeah, that's awesome. See, there definitely need a balance between, like, having some sort of spine and being authoritarian. This is just going back to what you said about, like, the drama class or not controlling anything. But then there's, like, principals that are way too authoritarian. When I was in Caledonia, I had one named Mr. I'll bleep that out. I don't know if you ever would have known him, but he was a crazy person. He was always yelling and like, oh, he was like from a movie, like the crazy principal. And he was there exactly 3 years, which would just happen to be the 3 years I was in middle school. Of course. And apparently, during my final year there, like after he like stole the whole school's budget and vanished from the country.
Nice.
Yeah. So he actually was like a crazy person. But I remember he had this thing where he like swore, and he would get mad if people corrected him, that it was not pronounced harassment.
Harassment?
Harassment. Yeah.
I hope he's dead.
Yeah. Have you heard that before too? Is that like
that's horrible.
Yeah. Is that like God?
It's
just
just
like no.
It's just annoying. Like, I mean, I guess you can pronounce it that way.
Yeah, but
don't.
But like he was like literally at an assembly and being like, it's harassment, and someone's like, isn't it harassment? It's like, no, it's harassment. You're wrong. Ah. But yeah, he was nuts. But Mr. Clark was like the perfect. He should be president. That man was amazing.
He was pretty awesome.
Yeah. He knows what's up.
I find all the bigger male teachers are a lot more. Every big male teacher, like heavier set male teacher I've had, was always awesome.
Yeah, honestly, like I agree. Like my favorite
They're just
teacher
jolly.
ever was Mr. Taylor, and he was same way as Mr. Clark. Like he was just legit, and he like, you know, some of the rules. But yeah, but like if you really didn't do it, whatever. That's just.
Yeah.
I remember I got in trouble with a guy named Robert. I'm gonna bleep out all these names.
Yeah.
And and you probably remember him.
Not really.
Mr. Taylor fucking hated Robert.
Okay.
And Robert would always try to pin stuff on me.
Yeah, I got it.
And Mr. Taylor was like wise enough to like know, and like basically I found a long spring and I didn't know where it came from, so I like stretched it all out and I was playing with it just on my desk on boards, something to like I probably
Fiddle
needed a
with.
fidget spinner,
Yeah.
something to fiddle with. And Mr. Taylor like, where did the spring of my stapler go? And he was furious. And I was like, oh, is it this thing? And Robert was like, yeah, I watched James. He took it out of the stapler. And I was like, no. And apparently, it turns out Robert took the thing out of a stapler, put it in my desk.
Put it in your
And
desk?
that's where it came from.
Oh my god.
Something like that.
It's like the most petty crime ever.
Yeah.
Stapler spring.
And my god, and it just came to a consensus. We were pinning it on each other. And Mr. Taylor said, okay, guys, just shut up. Okay, James, if you did it, it's fine. Okay, Robert, if you did it, okay, detention. And I was like, you fucking rule, Mr. Taylor. But yeah. I hear arguing.
That's okay.
I hope they can't hear that. Maybe it's not arguing. But yeah. How much time we got left? 51 minutes. We don't have to be like all the way up to an hour. We can
I'd
short.
If it's okay with you, I'd like to just hijack the podcast for a minute just to talk about my mom.
Alright.
So unfortunately, I'm only saying this because I want to just get it out there. Like,
Yeah.
if you are in any capacity whatsoever feeling suicidal or depressed, you need to help. You need to help yourself. Like, you need to. There's even if you have to check yourself into a psych ward, do it. If you actually feel like you don't want to be alive and you're going to do something about it, please. All it takes is just a phone call or something, anything. Talk to your friends, something. My mom took her own life about a month ago. Like I just realized the other day, like my birthday's coming up and she's not gonna call me. Like,
oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
And I always get a call from her, like, yeah, so just not to bum everybody out. Like,
yeah.
Just please. That's just all I wanted to say. Like,
yeah.
Please seek out help.
That's admirable. Yeah. It's something happened. You may as well take something from it and try to. That's definitely something you want the least amount of human beings alive to experience or go through.
For sure.
Yeah, on either end, because it affects yourself, you affect the people around you, and it's. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear it, like, seriously, man.
Thanks. Yeah, I know. It sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks.
I really couldn't imagine, like, losing either of my parents.
Well, I mean, in such a horrible way, too. Like, that's the part that's, like, if she had just gotten in a car accident or something, of course it would be bad and sudden. But to know that she was suffering and then decided to,
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's just so hard to see. It's like invisible to everybody, Yeah. That's why you need to... Yeah, what you just said.
I'm seeing a therapist and stuff. But, I mean, I was before. But now I definitely have a better reason.
Yeah. Yeah, that's... Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's the way the cookie crumbles. It's the shittiest line to wrap that up.
Yeah, there's really no good way to say it.
Yeah, but it's an important... I think that makes sense. There's no good way to say it, but it's something that needs to be said.
Yeah.
And that's why no one says it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
I mean, I don't know how many people watch your podcast, but I hope if I can...
Maybe 50.
Yeah.
It's just for the Patreon.
If at least one of those 50 people says something to somebody else and it helps, then fuck yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how, like, if you help one person, that's all that matters. Yeah. It's just a good thing to know, I guess,
Yeah, so, why don't we end it with, you've been playing Bloodborne recently.
Oh, yeah. I beat it. I got the Platinum Trophy on it.
Nice.
That game's amazing.
How was the DLC? I haven't played it yet.
It's fine. You go to the Hunter's Nightmare, which is, like, the Cathedral Ward. And it's just that whole area, but a little more messed up. Like, there's buildings are knocked over. It's just barren. There's hunters everywhere, like hunter-like enemies.
Yeah, those are
way less health.
Oh, okay.
And it's pretty brutal. And that's just kind of like, I don't know, I understand it's like, oh, the same area, but spookier, but it's like, I don't know, it just kind of felt barren and repetitious to me. But then you go to the church. Do you know about the lore with like the old blood, and that's why everyone got fucked up?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you go to the church that's actually doing that.
Oh.
And you see all these like patients strapped down, and they're walking around, they don't know, and they got like these messed up like heads, and they're like, oh, I don't know what's and it's like terrifying, and it's really cool. And that whole dungeon, you have to do this thing where you get to the very top, you turn this lever, and it like moves the stairs, so you can go to different floors, and it's just really cool. And some of the bosses are really cool. A lot of people like Ludwig's Holy Blade. That was a really cool boss fight.
Ludwig's Holy Blade's a weapon too.
Yeah,
that's the one I always use because it has a fucking lot of physical attack damage.
Yeah. Well, it's like Ludwig something, then he becomes Ludwig the Holy Blade when
Okay.
But yeah, you fight him.
The cool thing about Bloodborne is that unlike Dark Souls or any of the Souls games, every weapon in Bloodborne is good as long as you upgrade it and do the right
This is
one.
what I hear everyone say, because
awesome.
Dark Souls is like, you'll get, Neo was the same way, as much as I love that game. Armor 2 is like, you get the same sword over and over and over and over, but with better stats. And I'm so discouraged from, because remember, like, soul matching in Neo, I never did that shit because it's like, well, I'm going to get a better weapon next level anyway, what's the point?
Yeah.
Tons of RPGs are like that, Xenoblade, Skyrim, anything, and even The Witcher, and that's just something I think games got to get away from. I'd rather just like 12 completely unique weapons rather than 100 ones when there's really 4.
Do you use Beast Blood pellets?
No.
So, do you know what it does?
No.
Okay, so the Beast Blood pellet is a consumable item. It makes it so that, depending on how high you get your meter, you fill your meter by doing certain things. One of the things that fills it the fastest is doing the switch attacks.
Oh, is that what when it's like a circle with a dog in it and it goes up?
Goes up. Beasthood.
That happens sometimes. I had no idea how I even did that.
Yeah, certain weapons can make the effect happen. But what it does is, the higher your Beasthood, the more damage you do, but the more damage you take. So it's like a risk-reward thing.
Oh, I see.
So, but you can kill some bosses really fast with the Beast Blood pellets. So I recommend trying them out. If you're good at dodging and parrying, Beast Blood pellets are the way to go.
The only things I can parry are other hunters. I'm so bad at parrying like anything else. It's funny. There's a boss in the DLC that is a hunter. It's like Lady Maria of the Clock Tower, and she's just like a hunter-ish person, has like a hunter moveset. And, you know when you summon the tentacles of whatever, that move, that knocks her over, and also, if you do it right when she gets up, after you knock her over, it, like, stuns her, so you can do a visceral attack. So just do that over and over and over, and you win.
Nice.
It was easy as hell. Yeah.
There's a boss, I haven't played the DLC, but I know there's a boss you can cheese with the Shaman Bone Blades, which are also a consumable item.
I've never used those. I know that, like, turns someone against...
It just
the living failures when you fight 3 things at once.
Yeah.
I never thought of doing that.
No.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, you can cheese the fuck out of them with Shaman Bone Blades. I've never done it, but apparently that's how you do it. That's the easy way. I
never thought it because I've never used those because I just like killing everything myself. But yeah, that was a boss fight I actually had trouble with. And that would have been such a good idea. I never thought of it because I always knew what those things did, and I just was waiting for the situation, and then. That's not the big problem with me personally with RPGs is I want to save my best items. I'm like I gotta save it.
And then you're at the final.
And I'm at the final boss, and I end up not using any of them, and it's like wow. Yeah. So, by the time I got the DLCs, I was using Bold Hunter's marks like wild. Like I don't feel like walking back. That's it. I was with that in Neo though. Neo, I was glad I saved them all for the the Yamata or Orochi, whatever the snakes things. I was like. No healing items left, this much health, there's 3 heads left, and I was like opening my inventory, getting my cannon out and shooting everything, and then I used like all of my bomb weapons, and I ended up killing it that way, just barely beat it on and that was on my first try too, barely.
I always found the ninjutsu items better than the magic items, but I did use some of the magic for sure. Yeah.
I like that big bomb where you pull it up and you throw it and
that fucking rips, that kills awesome. So many things. Yeah.
And I like that every time you pray at the altar, it just gives you max ammo again. That's just ninjutsu.
And the mines are pretty useless at first, but
I never bothered with those.
But you can cheese the fuck out of some really hard fights with those mines because it stuns them.
Oh.
Like the warrior from the east, the really fast guy with the lightning blade. And the good armor, like.
And you get like the dog yokai thing from him, yeah.
So you can cheese the fuck out of him with those.
I had no idea.
You put one down, he flies up.
He's pretty early in the game.
Yeah, he was still pretty hard though. Well,
oh yeah.
For a first timer, he flies up, he falls down. You can like ground hit him when you stab him, and then you can just keep doing that over and over.
That's cool. Did you hear they're making Neo 2?
Oh,
they announced it at E3, which I think is a little soon. Like the game's just over a year old, but yeah, Neo 2's it's not going to be starring William Adams. You're going to create a character in this one.
William.
Yeah, William Adams is a real person.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
I really like how it's like a weird wordplay thing they did where if you read the text for that old guy, he says, by the way, everybody you meet in the game was a real person.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But anyway,
I mean, it's all not historically accurate at all. It's just kind of borrowing.
He says, William is a really hard name for Japanese people to say, so we're going to call you Anjin, which means pilot.
Means porter.
Yeah, but he said it means. I thought he said it means pilot, and I thought it was funny because William's a pirate, and that's how they would say pirate.
See, in the real history, William Adams was a tradesman.
Okay.
And he built ships and stuff. So they called him Anjin because he was a porter. He made boats, is why they called him that. And they thought he was a pirate, so he was almost going to get executed. They executed most of his crew, but whoever was in power in Japan at that point was like interested in his shipbuilding abilities because he was from Europe.
Yeah.
And he was never allowed to go back home for the rest of his life.
Wow.
But he just kind of rose to power, like politically, just becoming a really good shipbuilder. And then he was trained as a samurai. I don't think he ever fought, but he was like trained with a sword, and he was really good friends with the whatever it's called, not the prime minister obviously back in those days, but whatever it was, the person in power in that area of Japan. But yeah, that's like there's a whole mini-series in a similar vein of, like the original Roots, very similar like mini-series just telling that tale, except they renamed William Adams and he's an American. That's the only difference. Everything else is historically accurate, but he's like Captain Blackthorn.
Oh god.
It's like, why wouldn't you just get a British actor and make him William Adams? Come on, what are you doing? But yeah, it's called
He was Scottish, wasn't he?
I thought he was European.
Yeah.
Irish or something. He was I said British, but I shouldn't generalize too much. European actor.
Yeah.
Is what I meant to say. But yeah, that's kind of dumb that they did that. But whatever, it's still a solid miniseries. What's cool is that the people speak Japanese and there's no subtitles, and you kind of learn Japanese along with him. He's like, oh yeah, daimashita or whatever. That means thank you, and then he'll say the words that you kind of understand now, and it's like then they. Yeah, it's cool because anytime someone's speaking in Japanese, you're not supposed to know what they're saying, which I don't. It was cool. It was the first American miniseries ever actually filmed in Japan.
Isn't thank you very much is arigato gozaimashita.
That's it.
Yeah.
Gozaimashita.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Japan sucks. Good night.
Yeah.
Anyway, no. We're over an hour now.
Yeah,
we only have 13 minutes left of recording time, so we gotta wrap this up.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Oh, did you hear Bloodborne 2 got leaked on Italian Amazon?
I did hear that, James.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bloodborne 2, I haven't seen any trailers or anything from it at all.
Oh, like I said, it just got leaked. There's nothing on it.
Nothing, no trailers?
It might not even be real.
Oh.
Yeah.
I could have sworn somebody that...
There's a new FromSoft game called Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, which is like a samurai game.
But apparently you don't level up, there's no character customization, and no weapons. You start with the weapon that you're going to use the whole time.
Yeah, so it's not really like a Souls-ish game.
No, but I mean, I might still play.
But the combat looks similar.
Yeah.
It's got
the same combat, I'll play.
Yeah. It looks fun though. It's interesting is like Neo, they did their own Soulsborne shit, and then FromSoft's like, actually, we're gonna make a samurai game, but it's not gonna be like that. Yeah, but yeah, that'll be cool. I mean, I've avoided Souls for so long just because I borrowed it from you, and then I borrowed it from Nathan back when it was new, and I just didn't care for it. But I finally got into Bloodborne because I played Neo, and I love Neo. I wanted to play something else like that, and Bloodborne's the next logical thing. I love Bloodborne. I honestly think Bloodborne's the best PS4 exclusive game.
Yeah, probably.
Though honestly, like, what else is really exclusive to PS4 that I've played? Like, Uncharted 4, it's not as good as Uncharted 4. Or it's definitely better than Uncharted 4 in my opinion. Last Guardian, Infamous Second Son, Little Big Planet. I don't know.
None of those games are as good as Bloodborne.
Yeah, at least not in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the best game on the console.
No.
Like Phantom Pain is a way better game. Bloodborne, in my opinion. I like Phantom Pain better.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, there's plenty of third-party games that I like more than Bloodborne, but when it comes to exclusives, yeah, Bloodborne I think is the top. But yeah. So we got Neo 2 coming, probably maybe Bloodborne 2, and then this new FromSoft game. So it's like it'd be a busy year for like that kind of shit.
Yeah, and also Code Vein is another Souls style game.
I don't care about the game. That's like that really gritty
Japanese
anime game.
Yeah, I mean,
think it looks kind of dumb.
But if the combat is good, then I'll play it.
I'm not gonna play it.
Okay. And then there's another one. It's a fan made game. I only know about this because I go on Imgur every once in a while.
Yeah.
They're making it's Souls inspired game, but it's in space.
Okay.
So like you're on a ship and there's like monsters and shit. Well, aliens, I guess, and you've got to fight your way through, like kind of like beat Dark Souls in space. Basically, is what they're going for, and it looks alright. But I mean, it's just in production right now, like nowhere near completion.
Is there like a Kickstarter for it or something?
There might be.
Okay.
Not sure.
That sounds cool. But yeah, I wanna try the Dark Souls games. When Dark Souls Remastered finally gets it on Switch, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna try it again. See if I can get into it this time.
Well, if you need advice.
Well, that's what everyone says. Everyone's like, I played that. You need advice? Like, that's the reason I avoided it for so long. Because people are like, hey, you like it? Oh, if you hit me up, you need advice. It's like, I don't, just let me play the game.
Play it. And if you need actual advice from someone who's actually good at the game, just watch Lobos.
I would just go on the wiki.
Yeah, or the wiki.
That's what I did with Bloodborne. I don't like using a walkthrough for the games. So what I did is I just like, but since it's like a semi-open-ish game, semi-non-linear, it's a semi-linear game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bosses you can miss. I wanted to see the whole game before I fought the last boss.
Yeah.
So I just brought up the list of bosses, and when there was no more bosses that I had not beat, that's when I went. So that's all I did.
I think that's what I did too.
Yeah. I also looked up the umbilical cord things, because I got one of them, and I'm like, 1/3, there must be 2 others, and I just looked up where those were.
Yeah, there's technically 4 you can get per playthrough.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you only need 3.
Yeah. The 4, you have to, like, meet some criteria to make the 4th one happen.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it is.
Yeah, fuck it.
You get one from the wet nurse, you get one from Iosifka, or whatever her name is, then what's the other?
You get it from going to the place that you go to in... it's the same place you wake up in where the doll is, but you go there in the real
right
world, in the dream,
Hunter's Workshop.
Yeah, the Hunter's Workshop.
Yeah.
Have you ever had 0 insight after already having some insight?
No, I don't think so.
I didn't know this, but the doll doesn't work anymore. Like, you can kill her
Oh.
and it'll have the same effect.
Yeah.
Like, she's just laying there and you can still level up.
Yeah.
And you don't have to listen to her talk. But if you have 0 insight, she doesn't. She's just motionless
She's
sitting
just
there.
a doll.
And I was like, did I accidentally kill her?
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I never knew
I had
that.
to look it up.
I know, like, Insight changed a lot of stuff. Like, at level 40, you can see, like, the amygdalas and shit like that, and that's cool. But yeah, there's, like, a lot of subtle shit in that game. Bloodborne's great. I like it.
Yeah, well... Theme song, no?
Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's the one.
Alright,
You don't have anything special that you all these end these with?
No, we just kind of just be like, alright, I guess that's it, and then I'll see you guys next month.
Yeah.
Podcast.
See whenever we do Garanacor again.
But, yeah, we wanted to have you on this one, like you, Brady, and I, but I guess it's just you and I. So, some podcasts will definitely have to have the 3 of us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But until then, so long, everybody. Unless there's one last thing you want to say.
Don't do drugs. I don't know.
Good night.